A hipster and an IT guy walk into a Royal Enfield showroom. The hipster says, I want a Hunter 350, one that's new, yet old-fashioned. The IT guy says, I too want a Hunter 350, one that's stylish, yet practical. Perplexed, the showroom manager asks, so which one will it be? The retro or the metro?
Boss man said he bout that business. Boss man said he bout that dough. Boss man said, can he get a witness? Amen. You already know. Let's go.
But before we dive into the differences between the two variants, you need to know a few things about the Hunter in general that we could not cover in our first ride. See, 17-inch rims are great to make a motorcycle both sporty and agile on the road, but it comes at a cost. Ground clearance.
Never line on the grip.
In order to lower the bike down and make the motorcycle a lot more accessible to even shorter riders, RE has had to compromise on ground clearance on this one. As compared to the classic 350 and the Meteor 350's 170mm ground clearance, the Hunter gets a meager 150mm of coverage. So this urban motorcycle tends to struggle over urban speed breakers. On the retro, you get old-school styled wire-spoke rims, giving it a rather old-fashioned look. But on the other hand, the Metro gets these sporty, tubeless alloy wheels. While you do have to pay more for the sportier look, out on the road, we found that the retro was capable of handling a wide variety of surfaces, especially the rough stuff, better than the Metro, thanks to these wire-spoke rims and skinnier tires. That said, while on the road, we found the difference between the wire-spoke rims and the alloy wheels to be marginal. But the convenience of having a tubeless alloy wheel simply cannot be ignored, because punctures are a sad reality and getting one fixed on alloys is fast. But the main difference between the two start to show when you start pushing the motorcycles hard, especially in the wet. While the Metro's chunkier rubber tends to offer more grip and confidence, the Retro's skinnier rubber tends to complain a little bit more than usual. And that's another advantage of having 17-inch alloys, because you have plenty good options in 17-inch tubeless tires which aid in spirited riding. Now this one is important, because if you are looking to prowl the urban jungle, anchoring down in a jiffy is critical. Braking on the Metro is significantly better and more confidence-inspiring because of the single disc brake up ahead and at the rear, unlike on the Retro. Sure, it lacks a bit of feel and feedback as compared to the Retro, but outright braking performance is better on this one. The Retro, it does not get a rear disc brake or ABS, and the good news here is it does not fishtail under hard braking, but it does take significant amount of distance to come to a full stop. Royal Enfield has decided to give both motorcycles single-piece leather-finished seats. The Retro gets a simple design, whereas on the Metro you get an old-fashioned scrambler-style ribbed seat design. Between the two bikes, I like the seat on the Metro. It's firmer, as opposed to the Retro's softer cushion, which makes long hours in the saddle more manageable. But if comfort is what you're looking for, neither of those two seats offer the kind of comfort that Classic or a Meteor bring to the table. That said, Royal Enfield does have a few seats in accessories, so make sure to check those out too. It's built to be the most affordable, hence the Retro gets more basic equipment. The monopod is more analog than digital, and even the digital screen shows you the bare minimum. And that holds true even for the plastics of the switches, handlebar grips and levers that are borrowed straight from the Bullet 350. Alternatively, the Metro's monopod display gets useful digital readouts like time and gear position indicator, along with all the standard stuff. Move over to the handlebar and you get these snazzy buttons and chonky levers to pull and push on. These are all stuff borrowed from the Meteor. Again, here I'm left liking the Retro a bit more than the Metro, and that's simply because the slimmer and basic levers are easier to reach and grip as opposed to these chonky ones here on the Metro. It allows more feedback, And in fact, the clutch on the Retro is lighter, and that's down to the slimness of the lever. Because the Retro misses out on a few critical components like a main stand, a rear disc brake and dual channel ABS, it's a whole 3 kgs lighter than the Metro. And while that weight advantage does not necessarily translate into performance advantage, be it in a straight line or in roll-on acceleration, where you can find that nimbleness is in the parking. And as you can see, I'm 5 feet 9 inches tall and I am flat-footing quite comfortably.
I'm the last of my kind, you feel? Plus I be ahead of my...
For everyday comfort, practicality and usability, I'd pick the Retro. Sure, it comes in only 2 colors, the seat is too soft, is not tubeless, the tires do not inspire confidence, and the braking is shoddy. But that's the pickle, because everything except for braking can either be tweaked, resolved, or swapped. But because this is an accessible motorcycle for newbies, the safety net of disc brakes at either end and dual channel ABS and the convenience of alloy wheels can simply not be overlooked. The Metro Rebel is a whole 19,000 rupees more than the Retro. So, if you don't want to burn a hole in your pocket and you want all the goods that you get on the Rebel, you could opt for the Royal Enfield Hunter Metro Dapper, which is 14,000 more than the Retro. Yeah, you miss out on 3 other colors, but you get everything that you need to have a safe and convenient ride.
Can you get a witness? Amen. You already know.